Fuck
now
child.
that everybody is here, we can start. Hello, welcome to Season 3, Episode 10 of Cringe Crew Music Podcast. Or if you're watching this on YouTube, this is Episode 1 for you because we didn't upload the last 9. Oopsie. I forgot to download the VODs and they timed out, so I couldn't. So, oopsie. We're starting with this one if you're on YouTube. Anyway, albums for this week. A Day to Remember's You're Welcome. Oneohtrix Point Never's Garden of Delete. Knucklepuck's 2020 and Bathory Requiem. So I guess we'll do mine first, as per usual. So, Oneohtrix Point Never. I have notes for this. Let me pull them up. I listened to everything at work and made notes. Look at me being organized. Oneohtrix Point Never is a music project by one Daniel Lopatin. This dude is notable for basically starting vaporwave as a genre. He released a mixtape called Chuck Person's Echo Jams, which was basically just like slowed down and manipulated samples of songs from like the 60s, 70s, and 80s. I actually really like it a lot just because I think it's weird and some of those loops are really catchy as hell. So yeah, this dude basically made vaporwave, so you can blame him for that. But Garden of Delete is kind of like an older album of his, I think, at this point. It's really fucking weird and chaotic. I'm sorry, Steven, I bet you probably hated this, and I don't blame you. It's just all over the goddamn place. It reminds me of some like crazier Aphex Twin stuff a little bit, but it's really interesting, and I think it's cool. Highlights for me, Ezra, Echo Jam C1, Sticky Drama, basically the whole thing I like a lot.
So, you know how when you come into a restaurant and they put you on one position and then you're short-staffed, so they're like, actually, we need to emergency train you in front. Actually, we need to emergency train you in the back. Actually, we need to put you on dishes. Actually, you need to go to fryers. Yeah, this album was like the musical personification of that, and I fucking hated it. Every second of it. I would have rather stuck a pencil up the tip of my dick than have to listen to this again. Like, what the fuck, Mike? Why did you do this?
I don't know, man. He says, "When we come, are we really free?" And I felt that.
And I hope you know, you will pay for your sins.
That's fine.
I didn't hate it. I kind of found myself like I put it on like as I was streaming behind games, and I found myself just making it go louder because like I wanted to listen to it. It was different, but it wasn't bad by any stretch of the imagination. Like I don't know that I would go out of my way to listen to it again, but it was definitely good to just listen through it once.
Yeah, basically, I already love everything that's weird fucking electronic music, so hey, this checks that. It's weird, it's very chaotic. You're very right on that one, Mike. But I really enjoyed it. Like I said, I'm one of those people that really loves like experimental or just the really fucking out of nowhere, out of the blue, left field, weird electronic shit. So this is another one that it grew. The first track's only an intro, but the first track I was like, Mike, what in the fuck?
Oh yeah, that intro is some nightmare shit. Admittedly,
that intro is nightmare. Nightmare fucking fuel is right.
Yeah, don't ever do this to me again.
Yeah, some of this was it had a very dark feeling to it. It almost felt like some of these songs almost sampled something off of Everywhere at the End of Time. I was like, like the way that it, like just the way that I feel. I'm like, this is weird.
Yeah, I can see that.
I still liked it, so I'll definitely look at more of his stuff.
Yeah, I think R+7 is another album of his that's considered to be pretty good. I haven't checked it out, but I've heard good things about it.
Okay.
But anyway, whoever wants to go next.
Yeah, let's talk about my album because I need a refresh from that terrible, god awful shit.
I'm sorry.
I love this group. They were one of the first black metal bands I ever listened to, and they're actually what made me and my older brother buy tickets to the Jaeger Girls concert with Megadeth, Slayer, and Anthrax. Because I listened to a little bit of Joey Belladonna with Anthrax, and I was like, huh, I really like this band. I'm gonna go buy tickets. And then it wound up being one of the coolest concerts I've ever been to. So I love this band. Everything off this album is great. It's apparently one of their worst albums, according to like several sites. But fuck those sites. They're wrong. You should listen to it.
Yeah. So I'm a little familiar with Bathory, their first wave black metal. According to Rate Your Music, this is like the second least liked album of theirs. But yeah, this fucks. They're usually like kind of black metal, but doing some research, they've kind of done a little bit of Viking metal, a little bit of thrash, a little bit of black metal, and this is one of their thrash projects. And yeah, I like this a lot. It's really good. It shreds.
I have any of you guys ever seen Knocked Loose live?
I can't say I
If-
have.
If you haven't, don't, because they sound really, really bad live. Okay, the lead singer sounds like a dying rodent. The only thing that I could think through this entire album, I was like, wow, the musical side of this is really good, but the singer sounds like Knocked Loose live, but also with throat cancer, where he's got one of those buzzers to his neck, and I could not get past it. The sound of his voice just drove me up a wall. Musically, it was really good. Like I got behind all of the instrumentals and stuff, but every time the singer opened his mouth, I was like, wow, this just got notably worse.
So basically, anytime you come on the podcast.
Yes. No, genuinely, like it wasn't so bad that like I wouldn't check out some of their other stuff or listen to them again, but like the vocals on this particular album, I couldn't get past it, man. Like it genuinely sounded like a dying rodent with throat cancer. I could not do it.
You know, understandable. Not everyone's vibe. I get that. A little bit of backstory as to why I picked this album. Mike said pick something weird that you think Ted will hate. So I was like, well, he didn't like Passenger of Shit last time. So he'll probably hate this one.
Fair. No, like I said, I don't think I hated this one as much as that one, because that one was just downright bad. I can at least say positive things about this one. It was just his voice. That's genuinely my only complaint. It's just so much of a complaint that it's my first and only comment, really.
Bro, are you telling me you didn't feel it in your soul when that man said, I staple tapeworms to my penis?
I felt the blood coming out of my ears and the way he said it.
I felt the blood rushing from my anus.
Heart a little bit.
I felt the blood.
See, Mike gets it. That's my boy.
So, I've heard of Bathory. I heard of them. I'm not the biggest black metal fan. It's just not like a genre that I really listen to that much. But this one, I also after seeing what you posted, I looked it up too. That noticed, listened, realized, hey, this is definitely not fucking. This is much more thrash, and I really enjoyed it. Thrash is another thing that I know I've listened to, but I don't really like listen to on a daily basis that much. But this was really good. I will I will kind of have to agree with Ted though. His vocals were a little bit grating there from time to time for me.
Have you ever heard of Anthrax?
Huh?
Have you ever heard of Anthrax?
Yes. Yeah, I've heard Anthrax. Yeah.
The original Big Five. You should definitely go listen to their entire discography. I bet you'll love it.
I do like Anthrax. I've listened to thrash. It's just not something that I listen to on a day-to-day basis. Like my shit is like all hardcore, metalcore, and like pop punk. That's like my day-to-day listen. Black metal and thrash metal is not something that I listen to very commonly. But I probably will start listening to more thrash since I've been trying to listen to some heavier stuff. So
Throw some power metal in there. Be a man.
Okay.
Start listening to power metal. I got you. I have more music recommendations for power metal than Mike has for pretty much any genre. I can almost guarantee it. So
Yeah.
Hey.
I wouldn't be surprised. But yeah, I liked it. It's good.
good.
Do you want to save yours for last, Ted?
Sure, yeah, have at it.
Okay. So I picked A Day to Remember's most recent album, You're Welcome. Which I don't think a lot of people were particularly saying thank you for, but
I have things to say.
Yep, I know.
I do.
I know. So I think I have softened up to this album a little bit more after hearing it a couple of times. I'm not saying that it's my favorite album. Particularly from A Day to Remember, this is, in my opinion, their weakest album yet.
And not by a small margin.
And not by a small margin. Like, not even by a little bit. It's
good. We're on the same page.
like not by by and large, no. To be fair, there were some songs on here that I still liked because they were heavier, like Brick Wall, Mind Reader, Bloodsucker.
Yep.
I think Resentment, Degenerates. I still like those songs because they do have a little bit of a heavier element to them. But this one, they really heavily went like a pop rock or like a radio rock sound with this one. And if there's one thing I'll say, it's very accessible.
A little too much, I think.
Yeah. I don't remember what song it is on here, but there's a song that sounds like it belongs on a car commercial. And it sounds like it came from like an ex-ambassador, like an indie rock album. And I'm like,
I think it's Viva La Mexico.
There's that, but there's also there was a point in the fucking album where he says they sing the lyrics, wait until I have fuck you money, and I'm like, you've been doing this since 2005. What do you mean when? You've been one of the most commercially successful like post-hardcore, post-metalcore bands recently, and you're telling me about fuck you money? Excuse me? It seemed their lyrics were a little bit this was another one where this album, their lyrics were a little hit or miss as well, which I don't really pay attention. Not that I don't pay attention, but I don't really like. On all the other albums, there's nothing that has been as egregious lyrics-wise as this album. So, yeah.
All right. So remember last week when I said y'all decide your fate for next week's podcast?
Uh-huh.
Well, the Mike's album, I was like, I hated that, but it was just Mike, so I'm not going to torture the group. But 2 out of the regulars for the podcast picked albums that I fucking hate. So I want to know what y'all have to listen to next week, and boy, y'all are gonna love it.
I love how petty this podcast is. It's just you guys trying to piss each other off. Nobody's here to enjoy anything. It's just who can we make mad this week?
It really is. We're like on thin ice with Steven. It's like, if he even remotely hates it, you better watch the fuck out, dude.
Next week is gonna fucking suck because I'm pretty sure all 3 of us are picking hate fuck albums.
Oh, absolutely.
This is gonna be a bad week. This is gonna be a bad week. Okay, Steven. Sorry.
Back on the podcast for next week.
Oh, God.
But, so, I have a problem with cookie cutter bands. We went over this in the Nickelback episode and the Limp Bizkit episodes. I don't like bands that aren't creative. To me, if you're not creative, you don't deserve to be in the industry, point blank. We have plenty of people who have done power metal. Write me a power metal song about how werewolves take over the Vatican. That is inventive. That's why I like that's why Powerwolf is one of my favorite bands. That's why Luca Turillia is one of my favorite bands. They write epics, like stuff like that. This sounds exactly like what I'd imagine someone who listens to A Day to Remember religiously would put on and be like, yo, this shit's fire. And then you listen to it and you're like, no, this shit is not fire. This shit is ass. Much like most of this discography. And I know I pissed off.
He's got the shirt, man. Look at the cat.
I was gonna say Ted's literally wearing the shirt, and I'm like,
How could you say that to that face?
And some A Day to Remember songs are okay. Have I ever listened to an entire album and went, this schmacks, I'm putting it on my playlist? Not once. But I mean, I also don't really care for like post-hardcore and pop punk stuff. I listen to a little bit of it, but it's not really my cup of tea. So, no judgment for the people that do like it, but this album was an egregious offense to any of that. And if you had put me on this album and said, this is your first experience with this genre, check this shit, I would have never listened to it again. It's so mundane and boring, and I don't like any of it.
Yeah, this sucked. It reminds me of the new Panic at the Disco album in the first half, and it's just not good. The only other A Day to Remember album that I've listened to in full is What Separates Me From You, and that is way better than this. I used to listen to that album like religiously in high school, and it was the only album of theirs that I liked. And this just sounds like a completely different band. It's just, I don't like that it just sounds like generic radio friendly garbage. That's all I really have to say.
Yeah, I'll be honest in that I think I was most disappointed because I listened to this album when it came out. Like being a Day to Remember fan, it was like, you know, the singles that came off of it before it got released sucked. I didn't like Degenerates. I didn't like Mind Reader. Like they were pop garbage. So I really wasn't excited for the album. The rest of it came out and it was even worse than the singles were, which was pretty miraculous that they could make worse than what had already come out. I will say that like if this had been the debut album from a different band, right? Like if I didn't put in A Day to Remember label on it, I would probably listen to the second album with low hopes. Like there were some upsides to it that it's like, okay, I could try this again if they didn't suck so bad the second time. But the fact that A Day to Remember's put out albums like For Those Who Have Heart, Homesick, What Separates Me From You, that have had like really, really good songs on it, this just sucked so bad. The other thing is that like I also try to go into it with a mindset that like I don't know that there isn't a Day to Remember album that I will play start to finish, like go cover to cover and enjoy every single song. Like there's always some that just like I don't enjoy them. This one I felt like I was skipping more songs than I was stopping to listen to. I like get a minute into it and it goes, oh, this is bad still, and passing through it. I've lightened up to it a little bit since it came out, but it's still horribly bad.
I was gonna say this was definitely the biggest disappointment for fans. This was more of a disappointment for the people that were already fans. People that did you like Bad Vibrations?
The upsides of Bad Vibrations were really, really good. The lowlights of Bad Vibrations, I listened to a grand total of twice, and I will never go back because they were
okay. You hated it much more than I did then.
The upsides were really good. It's among their better stuff, but yeah,
it's just this one. Like, so for me, I'm a little like on almost. I don't know if there is an album they have that I will not listen to front to back without skipping anything. Maybe like their debut and old record, maybe, but that's just because I haven't listened to those two a super shit ton. but this one was just a disappointment for literally everyone. So I don't know. The only people that enjoyed it were probably the radio station people, and even then, people who don't listen to A Day to Remember, have never heard of A Day to Remember, and hear their poppy songs may get into them. Maybe if their next album's heavy, I'd be okay with it, but right now it's just too poppy.
Agreed.
Yeah, no, Steve, is Poppy is a decent artist, and I like her.
I like her too.
She extremely problematic, but a decent artist.
Yeah.
Knucklepuck.
Yeah. So I picked this album when I was going to do the mid-season for season 2. And I picked it then specifically to make Stallman mad. Because he vehemently hates Knucklepuck, and I don't know that he's listened to more than like 45 seconds to just decide they call themselves pop punk, and I don't want to anymore. Because I missed that episode and like it was already selected, I was like, you know what? Like let's just circle back and do it again.
Yep.
Every time a Knucklepuck album comes out, I always neglect it and go, I'll get around to it eventually. And then something comes on shuffle and I go, oh, this was really, really good. And this one was no different for me. The first half of the album just had some really good, like classic sounding pop punk songs. It's what I want a Knucklepuck album to sound like. And I was actually really, really thrilled with this album. I thought it was mixed pretty well. I thought the album, like going in order, flowed pretty well. And it's definitely got stuff that I'm going to listen to for a really long time. I was pretty thrilled with it.
Yeah.
I just don't pop punk. Like, I'm beginning to see a trend that I just don't like pop punk. In like 1 or 2 albums not being like bad but not terrible. I didn't like any of them this week. It's
fair.
not because it's a bad album, it's just not my genre of music. I don't care for pop punk. The only recent pop punk I tried to give a listen to and actually somewhat tolerated was MGK's, but I went over this last episode about why I don't like MGK as a person. Like, when your whole career is destroyed and you just go, well, time to switch genres. Like, yeah, you're kind of an embarrassment. And I feel like most of pop punk has bred an extremely toxic culture. I'm gonna on and drop the bomb of why I really hate pop punk, because Mike understands my past, and I think I've talked to you about it too. I don't fuck with pedos, and like 90% of pop punk bands are pedos, so like not my thing.
Admittedly, I stopped listening to them when something like that comes out. I couldn't tell you the last time I actually put on a brand new song because, Jesse Lacey exists. But, like up until that point, like if I don't know something bad is happening, then like it's bad of me to assume it, So until that point, I'm good with Knucklepuck still.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
That's fair. I can't do it because like I can't support culture that toxic. It's a lot of it's really embarrassing too. Like they don't even try to hide. It's like, yeah, I fuck 12-year-olds. What's wrong with that? And it's like,
yeah.
I actually tweeted about that earlier this week. A band that I went to go see. I really enjoyed their debut album that came out like somewhere between senior year of high school and freshman year of college. And back then they were really, really good. Since then their music has gotten far worse. But what ruined them for me was not the music getting worse. It was I went to go see them live. Like did a meet and greet thing with the band, or they were out in the crowd as like the next band was playing or whatever. The bassist, who's the one that runs their Twitter, he was totally dismissive of every guy, but if you looked like an underage girl, he was very happy to talk to you and take a picture with you. Their new album just came out last week, I think, and since then, I think the only thing their Twitter account has done is retweeted girls who look like they're 12 going, I really love this album. So, yeah, it's a little bit sour taste. So,
What band?
State Champs.
Oh, God damn it.
Yeah.
my point exactly.
Yeah.
What was it? Fucking there's so many Warped Tour bands that fell in that had that issue.
Yep.
Just Warped, the Warped Tour period.
Another problem that I have, like going on an MGK tangent again, the whole reason he lost his entire career was because he hit on Eminem's, well, they don't identify as a girl anymore, but at the time, daughter, and like made passes at her. She was like 14, I want to say. And his exact tweet was, "Man, if she was legal, the things I'd do to her." And I was like,
Yeah.
what? Did you not look at this and go, this is a bad idea to say out loud? Nope. He just went, nope, I fucked toddlers and posted it. Like, these people don't think.
Anyway, my thoughts on the album. Haha, album called 2020 and released in 2020. Very cool. But no, I really like this actually. It reminded me of mid 2000s pop punk, which my sister used to listen to with me all the time. Specifically, the title track reminds me of Sugar Cult's Start Static for some reason. It just has that vibe about it. I don't know, and it's like nostalgic for me a little, I guess, that particular sound. So yeah, I like this.
Yeah, I really like pop punk. So yeah, I saw you pick and I was like, I already know it. To be fair, I'd also listened to a couple of the songs off this album already. And it is very much, it sounds a lot like classic pop punk, which for people that have the like that can separate in their mind the eras of like mall pop punk and skate pop punk and like the eras. This is an era. This is like reminiscent of an era that I really loved. So I love this album. I don't. Every goddamn time I see Stallman, he mentions this band like without fucking fail. I'll go to. It's when it's in person. Like I'll go see him at a thing. He's like, at least it's not Knucklepuck. I was like, why do you hate them this much?
And I don't know that he's listened to them for longer than 45 seconds to just decide he hates them.
I'm like,
but this was a vendetta.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, but I feel like I remember him telling me why he didn't like it, but at the same time, I'm like, Solomon, just God damn it. Yeah, he is good. We'll listen to more.
Yeah. So that's the albums for the week. But I have a concert review for you.
Okay.
So this past Wednesday, I saw Between the Buried and Me. They did a two-set show where they basically did at least one song off of every album that they've released. And then they did The Great Misdirect in its entirety. So I have notes for this because there's a lot. So I guess after seeing that show, I realized that the only albums by them that I really know front to back is maybe Parallax 2 and Coma Ecliptic. I have Colors, and I've heard it many times, but I couldn't really pinpoint any like highlights off of it other than maybe prequel to the sequel, I guess. So I guess I just need to listen to the whole discography again. But show is fantastic. First set, like I said, was at least one song off of every album except for their EP, Hypersleep Dialogues, that's fine. They played stuff off the debut self-titled album, and that was really cool. I hadn't really heard anything off of that, so that was neat. So the first half, they had banners up with symbols to symbolize each album, which was neat. And then they did a quick break afterwards, and then came back and did Great Misdirect, and it had like a blown-up banner of the album art, which was really cool. And the only song I really know off of that album is Obfuscation, which is really cool. And maybe Swim to the Moon, which I forgot was like a 20-minute song. So I'm just like, God damn, this is taking a while. But their merch guy, surprisingly, has like a guest vocals on that song. So he just comes out and he's like, what the fuck's up, Salt Lake City? And he just goes ham.
What the fuck?
So that was cool. I had VIP tickets for it, so there was a Q&A beforehand. So I guess their tour manager came out and he's like, "Hey guys, what are you hoping that they're gonna do?" You guys like Blake, their drummer? Is he your favorite drummer ever? He's right there. He's watching, and I look over and he's like, oh yeah, there he is. And so Blake comes out and he gets up there, and then everybody except for Paul, the lead guitarist, comes up and they're like, oh yeah, Paul's late because he had to go make coffee. So eventually he comes out, and some guy asked him what their like favorite Rush album was, and they were just like, we don't really like Rush that much. Sorry. And then some guy mentioned like a previous show where I guess Blake had like a muscle twitch and accidentally like kicked his snare over. And so they had to end the set early. And he's like, oh yeah, I remember that. That was awesome. And then he was like talking about this like rage quit thing where Billy Joe was at fucking iHeart Music Festival with Green Day and he was pissed that they only had a minute left. So he just yelled for a minute and then smashed the guitar. He was like, yeah, that video's, he's like, yeah, that video's hilarious. Go watch it.
He never made it home that night. He went straight to rehab.
Yep.
But I have pictures of that I can pull up really quick. So let me switch. There we go. There I am, all the way on the left. Wow, there's me. Incredible.
Hi, Mike.
Like this album pick.
But anyway, I also with the VIP stuff, I got their demo tape on cassette, which this got released specifically for the tour. It's a couple songs off the debut album, which is very neat. I now have an excuse to go buy a tape deck. And then I also got the new album, Colors 2 on vinyl, which is an exclusive color. It's like a green kind not green, like a gray kind of smoke thing. Very cool. And then there's like some cutouts on the front. So when you take the record sleeve out in the bottom, I don't know if you can see that. Oh, wait. Oh, I didn't take it out. It would help to do that. Anyway, you take it out, and it's literally like the first line on the whole album. I'm not the writer, it's you. And then on the back, it's the last line on the album, which is "Sing with me for today is gone," which is very cool. And I literally just remembered one other thing so second time seeing them live. Thing that I like about seeing Between the Bare Enemy live is that they do really cool shit with lights. I was talking about this with Ted the other day. So they have like these LEDs kind of all over the stage, and they kind of just like flash with the music. So if it's so the music will get really intense, and then it'll stop for a moment, and then it'll go pitch black until the instruments start up again. And there's one track off of the new album where there's a line, if you see the rainbow, there's no tomorrow. And so when they sung that line, like all the LEDs went rainbow, which was really cool. But overall, really cool show. Definitely check them out. If you haven't, highly recommend it. But anyway, that's all I got. So
Right.
anybody have anything else before we pick album for next week?
No.
Nope.
No, I'm ready to pick.
Oh boy, that's not good. All right, what you got?
What you picking?
All right. I already knew it before because I did research. I picked the most annoying album I could possibly do. So we're going to pick a genre I know for a fact we've never listened to on the podcast.
Uh-huh.
And probably never will again after this.
Uh-huh.
We're listening to Christian music.
Oh no.
I just watched Conley's face. He just erupted in pain.
Do you listen to this ironically, right?
Yeah, don't worry, it gets worse. We're listening to Ice JJ Fish's Jesus is the Way.
Oh no.
I'm
Okay.
just waiting for Conley to burst into flames.
I don't know who this guy is, but I've heard of him, and not good things.
Oh yeah, don't worry. I'm gonna also pick a bonus track that I'm making y'all listen to give you the full experience that I heard when I first discovered him. And the bonus track is not optional. You have to listen to it. So
Uh-huh.
How long is this album?
the album itself is like, I want to say 45 minutes.
I'm so happy I don't have to be here next week.
You're lucky. I'm picking a short one. You're gonna hate all 17 minutes of it, but it's only 17 minutes.
Okay. That's cool. I'm also picking a short one that is only 11 minutes.
I don't know which one. I don't know which ones I'm more afraid of, the short ones or the long one. I don't know which one I'm gonna hate more. Because I know a short is which one are you picking, Mike, real quick?
So I'm picking another Vocaloid album. It's an EP rather. 3 tracks, 11 minutes. Happy Songs by So.
Don't know who that is. Well, you're gonna hate me because I'm gonna pick Tramp Stamps.
Oh boy.
Remember the album that Fantano listened to so you didn't have to? Well, now you have to.
Okay. I'm not looking forward to it, but okay.
Man, this next week is just gonna be us talking about how much happens.
Oh,
Hell
this is
The thing about my pick is that I like this one. Steven, on the other hand, is gonna hate it.
oh cool. So I'm probably gonna I'm not gonna hate that album. Cool.
Damn, that's rough, bud, because you're gonna fucking hate mine.
Yeah,
I know.
fucking no.
Even how bad this album is, I can almost guarantee you'd rather shoot your own mother than have to listen to this.
At least he's on fucking Spotify.
I guess.
Oh my god, he released an album this year. Fucking god damn it.
You're welcome.
Who are these 12,000 people that play this song and why? What drugs and why?
I don't know.
Oh, man.
Memers?
Big memes only. Biggest meme of all is I won't be here.
I don't know if
Omega
this. I don't know if the memes are worth it. I don't know if this
Oh,
meme's.
it'll have to be worth it, because you gotta listen to this album in its entirety, honey.
Which one? Which album?
Jesus is the way.
That one came out last year. Oh, thank God! It's only 24 minutes. Ah. Jesus fuck. If I'd listened to 45 minutes of that shit, I couldn't fucking make it. I could hardly sit through whatever the fuck we did of the fucking Blood on the Dance Floor.
Ugh.
That almost made me stab my fucking eardrums. I genuinely
Don't worry, this one's worse than Blood on the Dance Floor.
don't tell me that.
I don't know.
Well,
No,
to be I don't
You wanna
know.
what he considers vocals?
What.
It's just something about Chigger.
Wait, that's him.
Yep. Welcome to the gulag, bitches.
I didn't know that was him. It's okay. Maybe it'll be slightly funny. I don't know. Well, fucking just okay. Jesus fuck. Yeah, you're lucky.
By the way, I would like to preface it with I haven't actually listened to this one either, so.
Just torturing yourself at this point too. Oh, good fucking Jesus.
All right. Well,
So y'all friendship to end?
you're lucky I didn't pick. You're lucky I didn't pick like the hour-long Paper Noises album because I could have.
Mike, if you had picked that, I would have done a double feature and picked something worse.
It's all right. I'll save Steve Rodin's Forms of Paper for another time.
Don't worry, I got you. When you pick it, I'll actually probably make you kill yourself.
All right. I look forward to it.
Do not recommend.
Anyway, I'm trying to go watch Tony Hawk go do a kickflip. Like actually.
Yeah.
It's happening down the street from me in like 25 minutes, so I gotta fucking go.
Okay, that's fair.
So,
All right.
I'll catch y'all next week.
Stay safe, nerds.
Oh, wait!
See
Wait.
y'all.
I'm gonna be in Seattle next week, so next stream is live from my hotel room in Seattle while I'm at PAX. Hell yeah.
Daughters.
Nice.
Anyway, see y'all next time.
See ya.
Bye.
Hey.